Hello everyone and welcome to my Hip Hop Gossip For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The manager of John Legend describes a frightening encounter during Diddy's party. Tice DeClorius, manager of John Legend, discusses a traumatic experience she had at a party held by Sean Diddy's Combs in St. Bart's, exposing her larger worries about the culture of the music business. Tice DeClorius, John Legend's longtime manager, revealed a traumatic experience at one of Sean Diddy's Combs parties in St. Bart's almost 30 years ago. In an editorial piece for the New York Times, 49-year-old DeClorius described how she was dragged into a bedroom by an unnamed man during the event, which she found quite unnerving. She stated, "Even now, I can't recall how I was able to talk my way out of that terrifying situation." She also added that she might have been spared that night because of her quick thinking when she said her brother was on this boat, and probably looking for her. At first, DeClorius wrote the incident off as just one guy acting badly at a drunken party. But as her career in the music industry developed, she started to notice a common pattern, a culture in which sexual impropriety was not only prevalent but, in her opinion, encouraged to flourish. Her worries about the widespread problems in the entertainment industry were heightened when she reflected on a subsequent interaction a few years later and recalled getting what she called an unsubtle invitation to a top executive's hotel room. DeClorius, who has been managing John Legend since 2005, attributes her renewed faith in the industry to the Grammy-winning performer, who has given her the chance to navigate it in a way that is consistent with her ideals. In the opinion piece, she stated, "It turns out that many artists, including John, want to be a part of a different model of business and culture." These disclosures coincide with alarming claims being made against Combs, who is presently being detained on sex trafficking and racketeering accusations. Weight restrictions for women are alleged by Diddy's freak-off party planner. According to a previous planner, Sean Diddy Combs imposed stringent and rigorous requirements on the women who attended his private parties. A former event planner who claims to have worked for the hip-hop entrepreneur in the mid-2000s has accused Sean Diddy Combs of enforcing rigid weight and beauty requirements on female visitors during his notorious freak-off by parties. According to the anonymous planner, ladies who attended the parties had to weigh no more than 140 pounds as part of the behind-the-scenes procedure. The event coordinator told the New York Post that unless the women were really tall, in which case there was some discretion, the weight requirement was enforced. "We would do weigh-ins if we had to," she said. However, the planner claimed that the requirements went much beyond the scale. There were strict physical requirements that the partygoers had to fulfill as well. "No flab, no cellulite," the planner declared. According to reports, the events, which were held in 2004 and 2005, also discouraged short hairstyles, tattoos, and body piercings. The planner recalled that the women who attended Combs events had an equally rigorous dress requirement. Women were required to wear no trousers, no jeans, and in very short party dresses that were no longer than mid-thigh. High stilettos were supposedly required, while flat shoes were apparently prohibited. In addition to the aesthetic requirements, the planner insisted that ladies be young and hot. They had very strict rules about who may enter. No flat shoes, no cheap outfits. Additionally, each girl had to conform to a particular attractive stereotype. The 54-year-old Combs is presently being held at a Brooklyn detention center on a number of charges, including sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, which have increased public scrutiny of his previous actions and the environment surrounding his well-known, well-recorded parties. A new possible witness who claims to have Kim Porter's diary is interviewed by the Diddy grand jury. A man who says he possesses tangible evidence that might help the grand jury decide Diddy's federal racketeering and sex trafficking case has taken yet another turn. Shortly after Courtney Burgess's testimony in a closed session, TMZ interviewed him and his lawyer Ariel Mitchell on Thursday outside the federal courthouse in New York City. Mitchell said the Department of Homeland Security was the first to subpoena Burgess. Burgess was asked to turn over all records, including thumb drives, hard drives, electronic storage devices, or devices containing videos and/or other files depicting Diddy, according to sources who spoke to the magazine. Burgess, who has allegedly discussed his knowledge of Diddy's less respectable past in multiple interviews, asserts that he has video footage of the disgraced bad boy mogul's alleged freak-offs, and an unedited copy of Diddy's ex-girlfriend Kim Porter's diary. Burgess and Mitchell informed a TMZ photographer after Thursday's first hearing that they were headed to a follow-up session when it would be decided what tangible proof he would have to provide to the grand jury. Diddy recently achieved a little victory in his fight to be released from prison when his bail appeal was placed on hold as he awaits a new bail hearing in the U.S. District Court. However, this most recent testimony may prove to be a huge benefit to the prosecution in this case. Around the same time that the request was approved in spite of the prosecutor's protests, independent reporter Megan Cuniff provided updates on the developing scenario on October 24. She said on X, "The Second Circuit has received an opposition to Sean Diddy Combs' bail appeal from prosecutors. Combs completely ignores the gravity of the charges against him and the strength of the evidence against him when he claims that Judge Carter erred. However, Combs' attorneys want the appeal put on hold while they pursue a new bail hearing in U.S. District Court," Cuniff wrote in a second tweet. The District Court is best suited to consider the renewed request in the first instance because the circumstances have changed and call for a new bail hearing. The identity of a Diddy rape allegation has been made public or else the lawsuit against the founder of Bad Boy Records would be dismissed. A district court judge has ordered an unnamed woman who alleges Puffy sexually abused her 20 years ago to use her true identity in order for her lawsuit to be heard, according to court documents that TMZ was able to get. The anonymous woman who filed her lawsuit under the fictitious name Jane Doe was found to have not provided sufficient evidence to support her need to remain anonymous by Judge Mary Kay Iskochiel. The lawsuit will be dismissed if the woman doesn't resubmit it under her true name by November 13. Parties in St. Bart's almost 30 years ago. In an editorial piece for the New York Times, 49-year-old Sticlorius described how she was dragged into a bedroom by an unnamed man during the event, which she found quite unnerving. She stated, "Even now, I can't recall how I was able to talk my way out of that terrifying situation." She also added that she might have been spared that night because of her quick thinking when she said her brother was on this boat, and probably looking for her. At first, Sticlorius wrote the incident off as just one guy acting badly at a drunken party.